Now let's invite our next finalist. We have 20 in total. Next up, we have Tyme with their solution to expand the data footprint of women-led SMEs in order to unlock greater potential. Let's bring Tyme online. All right, hello, Tyme.
Good morning. Hi, I'm John Kane, and I'm calling in from Tyme.
Hello.
Tyme is.
Hello. Oh, are you? Okay. You know what? Your time starts now. Over to you.
Hi, I'm John. I'm calling in from Tyme. Our business is a global technology business aimed in the banking sector. We're participating in this as part of as the winner of the Women's World Banking Hackathon. For those who don't know Tyme, Tyme has built a series of technologies around banking and especially mass market digital banking. We have our flagship deployment in South Africa, which is Tyme Bank. We deployed that in February of 2019. So far, we have acquired 2.5 million bank customers, at a rate of over 100,000 new customers a month, with an activity rate of about 56%. Now, what's actually quite important about the customers we've acquired is that 69% of low-income women in South Africa, we have an NPS score of 69% among low-income women in South Africa and 60% among women, against an industry average of only 29.1%. Part of that could possibly be attributed to the fact that we have a 30% lower cost to serve than the next most affordable bank. And part of it could be that 70% of our customer-facing brand ambassadors are women who provide customer education. Now, we believe that a big part of this is actually the amount of education and access that we're trying to grant people. We're fundamentally trying to move the dial. Now, while we have made great strides in terms of banking women individuals, we need to look at what the actual barriers are in the country to accessing finance and for empowerment of women within the South African market. There are significant barriers to women's access to finance in this market, but generally across all markets. Often there is a very limited data footprint in comparison to the male counterparts. Lending is often based on collateral, which unfortunately historical barriers have meant that they don't have in their name, and there is definitely an unconscious bias in these markets. Now, we want to be able to overcome this and move that dial and allow affordable lending. So how do we move that dial for 100,000 sole proprietor women in South Africa who are also heads of households? A lot of them are in selling businesses where they make and sell goods. Unfortunately, the COVID pandemic has made it very difficult to do that. But they are often in industries where it is hard to keep good track of their revenue. And therefore, if they are able to get finance, it's very predatory. So what we're proposing is a conversational social selling model with a democratized soft POS, and I'll explain what that means by a democratized soft POS, and finance that actually matches their business cycle and the nature of the business they're in. So we've partnered with a Singaporean FinTech, Jumper AI, who does a social selling model, and they do this predominantly at the moment for large corporations. The idea is to take these to small businesses where they have the access then to inventory management. They're able to load their stock into a digitized store. It automatically creates that online presence for them and then makes that online store available through social media platforms where they run most of their business now: WhatsApp, Facebook, Facebook Messenger, etc. We will provide them with a point-of-sale terminal where they can accept payments, card payments, either off their phone or through this platform, and a bank account, a free bank account underpinning that. All of the information gathered through this system allows us to finally offer these businesses access to finance that they would not normally have received. So what does this look like for them? They create, through a very simple platform, they're able to load their stock, how many they have, what's available, as well as us providing delivery opportunities for them. The customer is then they're allowed to present this through their social media platforms. Customers are able to select these products, and then they are guided by a chatbot through to the sales process. Why is this also important? It allows them to focus more of their time on running and growing their business rather than simply just the effort of making sales. With this information that we're able to access in terms of what they're selling, where they're buying, what they're selling it for, and customer interest, we're able to offer, and as well as accepting and taking the payment, we're able to offer financing at way below market rates to these customers. Generally, lending is always done at the maximum allowable legal rate to businesses of this size. Using the information we get,
I'm really sorry, I have to interrupt you. Hi, Tyme, I'm really sorry. Your time is up. Thank you so much for your pitch. Thank you. Now we're going to go to our Q&A with the judges, and we've got 5 minutes on the clock. Are you ready for the Q&A time?
Perfect, thank you.
Yes? Okay, let's see. Judges, do we have any questions for Tyme? We're just checking in with the judges. They're all dialing in remotely. Brian, your question, please.
Thank you. Great presentation, John. So quick question. How do you leverage on your data strategy to overcome the limited data that you face as a challenge? Thank you.
Absolutely, this is a great question. Actually, because there's so little data in the market, we're using the platform we're providing to free to create that data. Most of these people do have cell phones. They are selling socially themselves. No one is collecting that information or using it to make decisions. By centralizing that platform, not only do we allow them to track their own sales, we also have access to that information, but we can also track their purchasing as well as their cash flow. So when we do the lending into the cycle, we're using that information to structure loans that match their business cycle, because we can see that business cycle, but we also have an understanding both of the financial flows in and out of their business. We can't rely on what's in the market. We have to make the effort as the bank to actually create that data rather than waiting to get it from outside sources.
Thank you very much for the answer. Sorry, yes, Brian, you were saying?
That answers my question. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Brian. Thank you for the answer. And now we've got a question from Alwyn. Over to you, Alwyn.
Thank you. Good morning, John. Thank you for your presentation. My name is Alwyn Brido from KPMG. I was curious to understand what have been your learnings so far from the segment that you've tackled, and how would you scale your business to other segments?
I believe this is actually scalable across segments. I don't think this is specific to women businesses. I think it's specific to, it does scale across all businesses. What have our learnings so far been? That there is a big lack of understanding of finance in these markets. There is a lack of understanding how the data that I collect and present enables access to finance. And also, I believe that there is a lack of understanding of the opportunities that technology has presented for social selling more generally, which I don't think is unique to the market, but the South African market has quite high penetration of smartphones, has high levels of internet usage, but still quite low levels of online bank or online business. Especially with smaller businesses.
Thank you for that. And our next question comes from our judge, Pranav. Over to you. Pranav, you have to unmute yourself. We can't hear you.
Wow.
There you go. Thank you.
Right. Thanks for the presentation and the answers. Just want to understand how much of the business for the customers is flowing through your platform. If that's the key point for you to get the data to extend the credit, are the businesses 50% online, 100% online? How are you managing that?
This is very early stages. So at this stage, almost nothing of these businesses. This is the fundamental change. These are businesses that have traditionally worked in the physical realm. That's what people are used to. So I was saying the last one, we are seeing a fundamental shift based on the pandemic in terms of how businesses like this behave in the market. But it is a journey we have to walk with customers. It's not like we're adding a product to an existing behavior type. And I don't know if that's as common everywhere else, but it's we often refer to the fact that 94% of transactions are still made in physical locations. It is a very long journey to travel, so very small.
Thank you very much for that. And we have a final question, but it's please make it a really quick one. We have only 50 seconds left. Victor, over to you.
Hi, thanks. John, just quickly, given what you just said, what are your key risks and barriers to growth?
That's a good question. Key risks and barriers to growth is actually getting to these customers. They're not shopping online. They're not aware of this. How do you let them know? So we're actually using our physical footprint for our consumer banking proposition to reach these customers. It is an expensive exercise. So I think our greatest risk is if there isn't a large adoption, it's not a great exercise. But we truly believe the world is going in that direction.
Thank you so much, and time is up. Thank you so much, Tyme, for joining us, answering our questions, and all the best.